Hey guys, and welcome to the second international episode of our podcast Millennials. In this episode, we sang some traditional songs.
I like to
Move it!
Denis showed off his serious French skills.
Enchantée, ravie de pouvoir participer à votre podcast.
Hola, ¿qué tal? What a beautiful language though. Kaki shared her knowledge on human anatomy.
And you know that your legs got wings.
Mm-hmm.
And we did some serious mathematics.
180 minutes, which is, 3 hours? 4 hours? Almost 4 hours, 3 hours. Mathematics. Nailed it. And we also learned what is Anlia's and Kaki's favorite breakfast.
That is good, you know, when you wake up in the morning.
Yes, it's good for a little filter.
Hello everybody and welcome to our podcast Millennials. This is the second episode of our international specials. In the previous episode we talked about India, unity in diversity, and today we will talk about the island Mayotte. In the Indian Ocean, scented with vanilla and cinnamon, sprinkled with blooming orchids, a beautiful lagoon, a fairy tale underwater world. I think this is the perfect place for the birth of a beautiful woman, which we welcome today in our podcast.
Yes, this is one of the islands I will probably never be able to go to. And the already mentioned beautiful girl will most probably never say hi, dear mother-in-law, to my mom. But on the flip side though, at least she can say hi to me. Hi Anlia.
Salut Denis, enchantée, ravie de pouvoir participer à votre podcast.
Hola, ¿qué tal? What a beautiful language though.
Hello.
Denis, please, I told you concentration today.
Yeah, Kaki, you're not. It's fair enough what you just said. So, dear millennials, you just had the opportunity to hear Anlia Charifa, a 23-year-old Mahoran beauty, and it is unfortunate for you guys that you can only hear her because, well, Karolina and I are lucky enough to see her in all her beauty.
And I think that's really convenient because beauty will be the main topic in today's episode. Ba-dumt. There's going to be a jingle. As Denis mentioned before, our today's guest speaker is beautiful Anlia Charifa. Maybe you can know her or you know her better as a Miss Mayotte 2020. And she also advanced in the top 15 Miss France 2021. So Anlia, hello and how are you? How is Ramadan going? Do you survive? Because I know that you were working a lot lately and you were mentoring new girls who wanted to become the next Miss Lyon 2021, right?
Yes, hello everyone. Thank you. I'm doing very well. Ramadan is going very well too. I'm not alone. I'm with my family. Every evening we all get together to eat. It's very cool. And yes, exactly. I'm coach 13 girls for the Miss Lyon election, potential candidates who will surely be found at Miss France this year. And it's a very special occasion. And this election was held on April 2024, and it went very well. I really enjoyed to do the role of coach, pushing is young human to see their potential.
I can imagine because it was maybe last year that you were in the same role as these girls because someone was mentoring you, right?
Yes, and I am in the other side now.
Yes, exactly.
That is an interesting twist on the whole situation.
Yes.
As we mentioned before, Anlia comes from Mayotte, and for those who don't know, the island Mayotte is located near the island Madagascar. And, well, Madagascar could be actually, there's something cool to mention for our Slovakian listeners, because there was a guy called Moritz Beňovský, and he's the OG of Madagascar because he was born in Slovakia, then he was imprisoned, and he escaped from prison from Siberia, and then he went on to become the king of Madagascar. So Madagascar had a Slovak king. And for those and for those who still don't have any clue what I'm talking about, I mean, just watch the cartoon Madagascar. And you can sing along to I like to move it, move
I like
it.
to move it, move it. I like to move it.
I like to
Move it!
move it.
I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it.
It's a very beautiful island. And guys, when we talk about beauty, let's have a look at the definition of the word beauty. So a beauty can be defined as a harmony of shapes, colors, sounds, or as well a harmony of ideas and the art form that pleasantly affects the senses and feelings of the man.
Yeah, Kaki, thanks for this definition. And I think I could agree with that if I was smart enough to comprehend it, but I'm a very simple man.
Idiot.
Fair enough. And I'm just going, since I'm simple man, I'm gonna put it in simple words. So, for example, if I climb the hill and I look around, and I think you all know the feeling, like you're moved by the mountains, forests around you, and everything is in harmony. And I think that's pretty beautiful, right? Or, I mean, you're in a club and you wait for D song, and D song comes up, so you just dance and sing along to the song. I like to move it. That's beauty as well. So
I have a better one,
no.
When you run, you put new shoes for the first time on, the shape, colors, you run, and at the same time you look at that beauty of your shoes and you are happy as a little kid. I think that's beauty as well.
Yeah, Kaki, but not everybody is just like us, runner enthusiasts. But sporty ones, or less sporty ones, even smashing a bucket of KFC might be beautiful. So that can be beauty as well.
Yes, but concerning those sneakers, you are still convinced that their beauty is also good, of a high quality, and you know that your legs got wings.
Mm-hmm. Kaki, you're like totally right.
Like totally right.
Like no kidding.
Yeah.
And but this is the case when you automatically combine the category of beauty with goodness. And in your example, it would be quality, right? So the goodness here and beauty is associated with quality. But I mean, to be honest, and I don't want to disappoint you, Kaki, but your sneaker example is not particularly spiritual, because I don't think you move it, do you?
But let's appreciate the little things, because we are a superficial generation of millennials, a bit childish, and so we see beauty in this context. But okay, Denis, if you want to go deeper, I can go deeper. And if you want to talk about aesthetics and philosophy, beauty together with good and truth belong to the three big categories of philosophy. And philosophers claim that good, beauty, and truth should work together. And if beauty separates from truth and good, in modern aesthetics comes a turn to mass culture and kitsch or junk or fake,
Actually, I have no idea what she just said. But it was a great endpoint to our introduction. As a jingle.
Jingle.
It's
Okay, it's a jingle.
Yeah, sorry about this, Anlia. Now we can finally get back to you.
I am coming back to our beautiful Anlia, who decided to evaluate her beauty in a beauty pageant. I'm repeating myself, it's a beauty pageant called Miss Mayotte 2020, and she also advanced to the top 15 of Miss France 2021. So Anlia, please tell us, what led you to do this, please?
As a child, they said of me that I was a shy, a reserved girl, and my goal was to surpass myself, to be the best version of myself every day. And it is important that women speak so that other women who listen to them can speak in turn, so that it's formed a chain that never stops. And I thought to myself, how I'm going to get there to achieve this goal of surpassing myself. And so I took my first step in the beauty pageant, and I considered this adventure as a challenge because I wanted to be this woman, spokesperson, this impactful woman. And no matter how long it takes to be up to this task, I will give everything. I will surpass myself so as not to have any regrets afterwards. And I ended up being a finalist in Miss France. It was so cool. And thanks to my perseverance in giving up nothing.
And by the way, I was actually watching Miss France 2021 with my friends at my place. We were voting for you. We were sending you messages.
You're sending a lot of messages for me?
Yeah,
it's so cute. Thank you. Thank you. It's so nice.
Actually, we were so proud of you. Like, we were all watching together. It was so good.
Thank you.
What a great response. Actually, I didn't expect such a response, and I have to admit that I was gonna be very ignorant, and I was planning on saying like, yeah, because for me as a man, but I think this is just saying from a position of a man, like I cannot imagine standing somewhere or working hard on something and then let some people evaluate my beauty. But I can tell that there is a lot of hard work, and good on you that you succeeded. I think it's a great thing. But yeah, as I said, I don't think I can imagine that somebody would tell me like, yeah, you're not tall enough, because I think I'm pretty handsome. At least my grandmother told me that. So
Yes, Dennis, don't worry, you're a handsome guy, a very handsome one.
yeah, thanks, Kaki. So it's the two of you who said that to me.
I'm saying hi to your granny. Hello.
Yeah, babka, ciao.
Let's go back to Anlia. So, Anlia, I have another question for you.
Yes.
The human genotype is basically the same, but there are millions and millions and millions of genetic variations in individuals that makes us different. When we look around, we have all the different color of the skin, we have different hair, different eyes. And my question is, your beauty is unique. It's beauty of Mayotte, mixed with many ancestors. So tell us more about it, about island, about the beauty of woman, the beauty of your culture. I think there's a lot to say.
Yes. Thank you. First of all, thank you for this compliment. So I represent diversity. I'm not only from Mayotte. I am. How can I say Malgache in English? I'm from Madagascar. I am Indian and Maoris.
Mhm.
It's a mixity, and this diversity is my strength today. To describe Mayotte, it is characterized by two major assets: a diverse biodiversity, but also a rich and very vibrant culture. Drawing Mayotte means making sure you find magnificent landscape, paradisial beaches, and a refined culture. And I am really foodie in life. The beauty of my island will remain gastronomy. Too bad I cannot give you a taste of Mayotte dishes from a distance, but my favorite dish is a pilau. Pilau, it's a dish of fragrant rices and meat. It's so delicious, so delicious. And how to characterize a Maoris woman? I think Maoris woman is a woman who decides, a strong woman, a woman who occupied an important place in the history of the independence of the island.
Yeah, it's like a strong woman, and even I think that your culture is very. That you like a lot of colors in Mayotte, because I could see during the Miss France that you were wearing a lot of colorful dresses and everything, and it was very pretty. So just for our listeners, you can check up on the internet some culture of Mayotte.
Anlia, so when I imagine a Slovak, like what would be a Slovak beauty standard? According to Slovakians, I think I could describe a Slovak beauty standard. But do you have such a thing, or could you describe, I don't want to say typical, but a typical beauty in Mayotte? Like what would it be? What is appreciated?
Typical beauty, it's like me.
Okay. That's the best answer we've ever gotten.
Typical beauty in Mayotte, we can see that on mentality. It's an independent woman, a strong woman, a powerful woman, and the strength of women Maoris is the diversity. Like I said.
Yeah. So for example, when I come to Mayotte, is like every woman, like physically everyone resembling to you, or are you like all different?
All different women. Yes, all different. And the woman in Mayotte is. Elles sont pas très grandes en fait.
They're not really tall, they're small.
Yes,
oh, really?
They're not very tall. And me, we can observe me with my... tu peux m'observer en fait avec mes 1m77.
So Anlia, she just said that the women in Mayotte, they're usually small.
Yes.
And Anlia, she's 1m70. So when you come to Mayotte, you just see Anlia, like around all the small women, and just Anlia in the middle.
And my big hair. And my big hair.
And and her big hair, yeah.
afro hair. And I like Mayotte because we represent diversity. We can find a lot of people and different mentality, different people with
Yeah.
physical is not the same.
It's it's pretty easy then. Beautiful island, beautiful people, right? That's a bulletproof logic. It's hard to argue with that. Our generation knows exactly what the criteria of female beauty are. Barbie kind of set this standard and showed us that the long legs and large boobies
Boobies.
are like appreciated. So this is like the labeled or current ideal of beauty. But I mean, if we have a look in the past, the ideal of feminine beauty stemmed from motherhood and family and better of life. So we would see a highlighted, or like the attention would be put on a large rounded butt or large breasts, which were considered a clear sign of fertility and motherhood. So in the past, way past, it seems like whatever was linked or connected to motherhood was appreciated or deemed as beautiful. But then in ancient Greece, the ideal of beauty became harmony and balance between mental as well as physical aspects. In Gothic times, especially the images of female saints represented the contemporary ideal of beauty, which would be a high forehead, a small mouth, and a small round face. Which actually, now that I think about it, it seems like a description of me. I have a high forehead and a small mouth. So
You're ticking off all the boxes, Denis.
yeah, all the boxes of Gothic feminine beauty. But then in Baroque, a woman with full shapes is ideal. So in our understanding, that would be an obese woman. So my question is, because I again gave it a huge introduction, my question would be that what are the criteria of Miss France beauty pageant? Like, who is the ideal Miss France?
So the criteria for participating in Miss France is simple. It will take a girl aged between 18 24 years old with a minimum height of 1/17 without heels.
Mm-hmm.
There is no selection on the white.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yes, I was going to forget a little detail. The misses must be a single, neither divorced, nor widowed, nor civil union, and without children. Lot of that.
Not even widowed.
And young woman should not have cosmetic surgery. In Miss France,
Okay.
in Miss France, we can't do a cosmetic surgery.
Can you have a tattoo?
No, we can't have a tattoo.
Not even like a hidden one that nobody sees.
Nobody.
Like on your
Like-
boobs?
No, inside of your lip. Or, you know?
We can have that.
They shouldn't be looking in your mouth, right?
And the most important, Miss France asks ambitious, intelligent, natural, spontaneous young women who can talk about various subjects in front of different audiences.
Mm-hmm. Very clear. Okay, let's keep going. So you know, beauty is a heavily discussed topic, right? And even here in this podcast, we talk a lot about beauty. But I think that there is opposite to everything. So if there is beauty, the opposite of beauty would be what? Ugliness, right? So Anlia, what is the opposite of female beauty for you, or just opposite of beauty short? You know, like what is the opposite for you? What does it mean for you?
You are asking me a philosophical question.
Yeah, I
Wow.
know, we are so deep in this episode, right? I know.
Wow. In my opinion, she is a mean, bitter, worthless woman. It takes away
Mhm.
all her charms and beauty.
Okay, yeah. So you're just saying that it's not something physical for you. That you are not saying that, for example, it's a woman with a big nose or, you know, something like that. But it's something mental, right? So it's something maybe immoral, something, a woman with some negative feature, for example, you know.
Exactly.
Because me, for example, even like when I'm just thinking about beauty, for me, for example, even a spider, it's ugly, right? Because like I'm scared when I see a spider. So like immediately in my brain it's just like it's something ugly, right? And before what I was saying at the beginning, I was saying that beauty, good, and truth should be always be together. So here we have this example that if, for example, even if we have a very beautiful woman physically, if she doesn't have the other part of good and truth in herself, we just can't say that she's beautiful anymore, right? France is a diverse, multicultural country with different women from all around the world. And me, for example, I belong to the so-called group of Slavonics. So a Slavic beauty is something that is characterized by full lips, small nose, distinct cheekbones. So it's called Slavic beauty. And Anlia, my question for you is, what do you think represents the most beautiful woman in France? Like, can it be defined at all?
The most beautiful woman in the world, in France, represents grace and elegance, glamour, and intelligence with a touch of humor. In summary, a simply woman.
So when you think about the most beautiful woman in France, you don't think about anything physical, right?
No, it's not physical. It's not physical parts for me. It's spiritual. It's the mentality. It's the grace. For me, a beauty is not a physical. Beauty is c'est l'âme en fait. C'est l'âme, la beauté. Je sais pas comment je peux dire ça.
It's a soul.
It's a soul.
For you.
The beauty, it's a soul. It's not physical. Yes.
Because when I was watching the Miss France beauty pageant, you can see, a black woman, you can see white woman, you are also different. But when I see Miss of Slovakia, like all the women, we just see, like 20 women, like the same, all blondes, with the same faces, because we have this called Slavic beauty, like we are all the same, I can say, like.
Okay.
So that's why, like, my question is like how they choose who is the most beautiful in France.
Yes, they choose, like I say before, the intelligence. It's the most important.
Okay.
Miss France organization wants a woman with intelligence, with grace, with elegance, the mix of those characteristics.
Okay, so they're also looking for somebody who would be representative, in every single sense. Okay, I have a little question that I was thinking about. Which European city do you think has the most beautiful people? Because I can tell, for example, every time I come to Amsterdam, I'm amazed because there's so many beautiful people. What do you think? Is there a European city that you...
Mayotte.
Oh yeah, fair enough.
European city, for me, is France and Spain. But not forget Mayotte too.
Mayotte too, of course. It's still European territory, so
Yeah.
it makes absolute sense to include it.
Yes.
I think it is also interesting that many women are perceived as beautiful and in principle would probably not beautiful to us nowadays. So, I mean, where I'm getting at is, let's take the example of Cleopatra. So many historians actually describe her as rather small, chubby, and with eagle nose. In nowadays standards, I don't think this would be considered a beauty. And for example, the legendary and admirable English Queen Elizabeth, who had scars all over her face, we might not consider it in nowadays world beauty. But both of them had something charming inside of them. They had some kind of energy. And this comes to your point that beauty is not only physical, but it is also mental. So Cleopatra and Elizabeth, they both had strong leadership skills, strategic skills. They were very clever, and they used to dress very nicely, use fragrances for that time. For example, in Cleopatra times, it was something maybe unusual. So this comes back to my previous question. If you think that everybody is beautiful in their own way, can you say that everybody is beautiful and everybody is attractive in their own way?
For me, the appreciation of beauty varies well between times and culture, as you said, Denis, taking the example of Cleopatra. Beauty for me is subjective. For me, beauty is so much deeper than appearance. The physical beauty is fleeting. What is important to me is the beauty of the soul, of the mentality.
So, like, we could say that everybody is beautiful in their own way. Like, you can pinpoint something about, like, even though they're the worst person in the world, like they're a murderer, a criminal, they love their mother, and we could say that that's beautiful, right? That's a tricky one. Okay, so now there's another philosophical one. In past, or not in past, actually, nowadays as well, the beauty of women or feminine beauty was a topic for sarcastic men, which come up with inappropriate quotes or some inappropriate jokes or commentaries. I have just two examples, that I remember from like high school, but I have just two examples of American novelist O. Henry, who said that a woman of high intellect and perfect beauty is a rare thing, as rare as an omelette made from the eggs of fabulous bird known as epidermis. And then another dumb comment was by Stendhal, which said that extremely beautiful women amaze less the next day. So, I mean, these two suckers were saying very superficially, by the way, that you cannot have at the same time beautiful and intellectual woman, which, well, nowadays, or, well, we've known always, but, you know, look at Kaki, look at my grandmother, look at you. We have many beautiful women who are also intelligent. So what do you think about this? What do you think, why were there's such a stereotype that beauty and intelligence does not come together?
I find this quote ridiculous and very close-minded. I don't like this quote.
Yeah.
It's a very sexist talk, this quote, that I really don't buy, and we must stop with these pictures. Fortunately, there is Miss France pageant that exists because it showcased the beautiful, intelligent women who have chosen to speak out and who denounce this kind of talk.
And do you see a change? Then, do you think now it's getting better slowly?
Yes.
By what? Do you think it's what do you think is the reason that it's getting a little better?
Woman can be speak, comment on dit, librement.
They have like freedom of speech.
Yes, there was a freedom of speech, and it's very important for the Miss France to talk about different subjects. So the world is changing, and thanks to Miss France, a woman can speak different subjects.
I totally agree, because I feel like now, even thanks to these pageants, you can see that women they have like maybe some goals in life, you know, that they're independent, that they're doing something in her life. You can see that the world is changing as well, and we don't see a beautiful woman just physically, you know, but we can say, yeah, the beautiful woman, she can do something in the world.
But also they like in the beauty pageants like Miss France. I also think that they ask participants quite a complicated questions, right? Like you need to show some level of intelligence and some level of education. Can you tell, maybe, did they ask you something that you were like shocked by, or that you didn't have answers, or what was like the toughest question that you were asked?
Before the selection of the finalists of Miss France, I have an interview with Sylvie Tellier, the president of organization of Miss France. I have an interview with TF1 Group. They asked to me my competence, my study, my personality, and I have 3 minutes to resume that. It's very short, and they selected 15 women, only 15 women, because the beginning we are 30 and they selecting only 15 women, and we have only 3 minutes to describe ourselves, to speak our passion, to speak our study, a lot of that. And it's very short moment to analyze a person. Heureusement, j'étais dans les finalistes, quoi.
Yes, so Anlia was fortunately in top 15, and we are very happy for it, and congratulations, Anlia.
But I think like what we talked about the stereotypes and you know, those sexist comments. I think it can go like both ways, you know, because you can have a very, very nice man, and when he opens his mouth, he's just very stupid or very dumb, or he's not interesting at all. And I think we should then have equal jokes about men.
Through history, it's also well known that women have accepted others' expectations to please. And I'm thinking, for example, about the Chinese lotus shoes, which were supposed to hold toes and foot in a desired shape to prevent its growth, because it was believed that a woman with small feet is more attractive and better married. It's such an absurd idea. Or a corset that was used to create desired curves of a woman's body, and even during pregnancy. At one side, corset accentuated woman's breasts and hips, so the woman was sexier, but on the other side, the corset was deforming woman's organs and woman's body and damaged the spine. And also we can talk about the chop-in shoes with 50 centimeters heels, and let's not forget wigs that were worn by both men and women. And you know, Anlia, your French king, the king's son, could tell us a lot about wigs because he was wearing them a lot. So Anlia, my question for you is, why do you think we were and we are still accepting imaginations and demands of the others? how a woman should look like. For example, now we don't see lotus shoes anymore, but we see silicone fillings of absurd sizes. And I don't know how you guys, but at the end of the day, we are Homo sapiens. We are thinking men. So why we are accepting something just to be, like sexier for the others, and that can damage our body or have like some health problems? So what do you think?
As soon as you compare yourself to standards, to top models in magazines with perfect figures, discomfort can lead to suffering when you do not correspond to this physical ideal. It's unfortunate to hear that some women resort to cosmetic surgery to look like their idol. This is the danger. It is the danger of the media. I find that women should accept themselves how they are, love themselves.
Yeah, this is a good answer.
I mean, we have many examples of strong, beautiful women who were destined for a different path. I'm just gonna mention a few. Audrey Hepburn, who was a British actress, but then she changed her mind and she used her beauty differently, and she became UNICEF Good Film Ambassador. Or we have Brigitte Anne-Marie Bardot. Perfect pronunciation, yeah. I have nailed this.
Brigitte Bardot.
How to butcher French. So she was a French former French model, actress and singer, but also animals' rights activist. What I'm saying is because I wanted to ask you, Anlia, if you have some other life plan that is maybe not related to physical beauty. Do you have a personal plan?
The cause that I have always wanted to develop is the empowerment of women. When I return to Mayotte this May, I have planned personal development workshop to allow Maoris women to have confidence in themselves and to make them recognize their potential. If I can be done face-to-face, I would adapt face-to-face because of coronavirus. I will adapt to doing online on my social network through Instagram lives, for example. Then I have another cause that is close to my heart. It is that related to domestic violence.
Yes.
It is a cause that I would always support. Lockdown has increased the rate of domestic violence against women, and as Miss Mayotte and spokesperson for these women, we must mobilize against all this violence. And when I return to Mayotte, I hope to have the opportunity to work with various associations to do this.
That is actually a very important role.
This is actually very powerful what you just said, because I think it's really important to empower young women.
Yes, it's very important.
That are more influenced from the media, because they don't really think about the consequences. And also the domestic violence is something that we really need to fight against nowadays. So yeah, thank you for the answer. Okay, let's move forward. I have another a little bit, I think maybe a difficult question, but let's get through this. So Marilyn Monroe and American President Robert Kennedy, or Lida Barova and Joseph Goebbels during the Second World War, or Sarkozy and Carla Bruni. I don't know, guys, but I think that it's so strange that it's always beauties and mobsters, beauties and politicians, beauties and rich men are always getting together. Anlia, how do you perceive the faithful relationships of beautiful women and influential men? Why do you think they get together? Always young and old. Why is there this attraction? What do you think about it?
Yes, I noticed that influential people often get together. Yes, I noticed that. In my opinion, I think they live in the same environment and have the same passion, and most of the time they have a similar standard of living, for example. I think that
because that I have read somewhere that that women, I don't know if it's true, but I read that women are practical creatures, and that women seek for men who can offer them the best resources, like protection, power.
Yes.
But it's very strange, because I've never seen somewhere, for example, a mental attraction. It's always protection, money, power. Yeah, but there's no mental attraction. So why would you like to be with someone who doesn't attract you, mentally?
I don't attract a person who have a lot of money, who have a lot of power. I want to evaluate with this person. I don't want this money. And
Yeah.
the important for me is the soul of this person. It's the mentality. It's very important. The money
Yeah.
doesn't. L'argent ne veut rien dire pour moi, quoi.
For you, the money is not important. It's your case, it's mine case, but I know that a lot of women,
It's individual.
It's an individual person, yes.
Yeah, because for example, I can tell you a case from Slovakia. There is this guy, and he's called Boris Kolar. That is, he knows him very well, and he has like 12 kids, I think, and
12 kids?
each kid, 12 kids, and each kid has a different mother, and each of these women is always very young. She's very superficial. She has I don't know, either a fake boobs or a fake lips. So I'm just asking myself, why this woman even accept to get with this man, Like, if you are like fifth or seventh isn't it like a question in your brain, like there's something wrong,
And you know what's the funniest thing about this guy? That he has I don't know how many wives and more than 10 children, and his political party is called We're Family. Of course, if half of the population of Slovakia is your family. Okay. Anyways, I'm gonna get to another question. Do we feel like going to another question?
Yes.
Right. Yes. Okay. So now we established that maybe powerful people and beautiful people go together, but there's some other stereotype maybe or assumption that suffering and beauty go together. So let me explain. Relationships can be beautiful, really beautiful, but they can be hard. So there's a little bit of suffering too. Pregnancy is beautiful, but women suffer during the birth or even the whole 9 months. It must be incredibly tough job, and after it, even tougher. So what I'm getting is suffering and beauty usually goes together. Do you think this is true? Like, do we need to suffer for beauty?
There is a French expression that say, il faut souffrir pour être belle. You must suffer to be beautiful. It's a French expression. For example,
I didn't know it was really a French one.
I don't know. You don't know. For example, I will give you an example. I have an afro hair, and for detangling my hair is long and quite painful. But the result is beautiful. I have a super defined curls at the end, but I'm suffering to brush my hair. I have another example. At Miss France, we had to wear heels of 12 centimeters, and it causes muscle pain in the feet. It's very suffering, but the heels refine the silhouette. I think you must suffer to be beautiful in the beauty pageant.
But I also agree with Denis what he said, for example, about pregnancy or, like when you're writing a thesis. Even in your life, if you want to achieve something, you need to work hard to finally get the outcome of your work. And it's not easy. It's never easy, right?
And I mean, like the simplest thing, just being healthy, it requires so much work and so much suffering. Like, saying no to beautiful, amazing things, like beautiful food that you shouldn't be eating, although you really enjoy it.
Yes.
Hours running and doing sports just to keep your body healthy. And it's necessity, it's beauty, but it is very, sufferingful.
Sometimes we capture the thought of betraying our essence, our soul, when we are willing to invest so much in physical beauty and sacrifice so much to please ourselves or others, when we forget our own uniqueness, our talents, our meaning of life. Anlia, what is your goal in life? Do you have some?
I'm passionate about the audiovisual world. Video now represent 50% of internet traffic, and I am doing a master audiovisual sector. Production audiovisual, and I would like to create my own production structure and provide content for television, for cinema, and possibly produce digital content for the web also. I would like to do this.
This is very interesting because I totally agree with you, because I think that every woman must discover her own talent, what she enjoys, even her meaning of life. Because, as you said before, like, we are not sexual objects. We want to achieve something in our life. We want to get a good job. Our role is not just cleaning house, taking care of children, but everyone, as men, even women, we should, like, find the meaning of our life.
Yes,
Yep.
and it's important to be passionate, to be passionate about the work.
To have a reason to wake up in the morning.
So I also think it should be fun, right? Like whatever you do in your life and whatever you think that the purpose is, it should be fun. Like you should really enjoy it.
I enjoy what I do. I am making video. I don't sleep till 5 of the morning because I'm very passionate. I create video. For me, it's not the works; it's a passion. I very enjoy it.
Yeah.
This
So
is
it's
good.
because you enjoy it. It's fun, so you do it. Oh, that's great. I'm very happy about that. Okay, well, I think this kind of moves this kind of moves us to maybe the last topic of this podcast, which would be mass media and its impact on feminine beauty ideal or beauty standards. So as you explained now, you're very much involved in the audiovisual sector, right? And audiovisual sector or marketing sector as well has a huge impact on our thinking, on our feelings, on our opinions, on our emotions. When I was saying opinions, I almost said onions, but fair enough. But yeah, there is a fun fact that the average teenager spends around 180 minutes, which is what, 3 hours, 4 hours, almost 4 hours, 3 hours. Mathematics, nailed it. But yeah, the average teenager spends around 180 minutes a day exposed to the media and only 10 minutes with their parents. Oof. So you studied digital marketing, right? What is your personal view on social media and media in general and their impact on our society and our beauty standards?
Social media are essential to all of us today. They have a positive and negative impact for me. Positive because they allow us to keep in touch with our loved one, our friends, our family at a distance. It's a good thing during this period. You see, I have a family in Madagascar and Mayotte, and thanks God there are social media to keep the links going. And yes, thanks God, because my mother lives in Madagascar, my uncle lives in Mayotte, and thanks to WhatsApp, Viber, Instagram, Facebook, I keep in touch with them. And unlike we can have a negative impact on mental health, the risk of appearance of sleep disorders. We can have cyberstalking, yes, negative comparison with others, degradation of the perception of usability, or because of issue related to private life. It causes. En fait, c'est à cause d'Instagram, le principal réseau social qui fait tout ça.
So you think that it's because of the Instagram that we can have like sleeping disorders, that we compare a lot to others? I think that it should also be mentioned that woman's beauty is manipulated by technology in media, right? That pictures of women are retouched, which can create, and actually it creates a rare and also non-existent ideal of beauty sometimes. And that these techniques also erase something called defaults on woman's body. Like I don't think that a woman's body has defaults. And to this are added advertisements about diets, about cosmetics, workouts, helping the media to create a dream world of high standards.
Filters,
yes.
But we love filters, right?
Everybody loves filters.
Sometimes it's good, when you wake up in the morning.
Yes, it's good. A little filter.
You look in the mirror like, yeah, I look like shit, but let's get a filter on and I can take a picture. But I want to say that, like all the media, like it includes praising for slimness and weight loss a lot, So Anlia, do you think that this presented idea of beauty allows girls to remain unique and accepting themselves?
I think the idealization of this beauty is a problem. Young people want to look like an idol, so wanting to be like someone is the opposite of wanting to be unique for me.
Yeah, because for example, what do you think that young women sometimes they want to look like older women, right?
Yeah.
So when I see girls of sometimes of 14 years old, they look like me, and I'm 10 years older than them. Right?
And then older women are trying to still look like 25. So I think everybody's just trying to look in their 20s.
Well, I'm pretty happy with myself.
Me too. We talked about how social media actually influence our minds and that they can make us unhappy about how we look. So, I mean, the statistics show that as many as 9 out of 10 teenagers say that they are unhappy about their bodies or their appearance. And then it follows that 10 million new pictures are uploaded to Facebook every single hour. So it brings almost endless opportunities for negative comparison, for what you said. Like you see all these pictures, you refresh your Instagram feed, you get new and new pictures, and you always compare yourself to these people. And then, also you use the filters, and you kind of want to look differently, or you want to look like yourself, but close to perfection, right? The best version of yourself. So how do you think that the surgeries and all of this unhappiness about the way we look and this non-accepting of our own beauty and not owning it, maybe, how do you think this will affect the future of feminine beauty? Are we gonna get to the point where everybody, not even feminine, even male beauty, but beauty in general, are we gonna get to the point where everybody is gonna have plastic surgeries, or what do you think the future will be?
I think it creates haze over an imaginary flaw or slight imperfections in physical appearance. It will be from adolescence that young girls will be most affected to this disorder, because it is at puberty that there is a change in the beauty, the desire to please, to look like your favorite celebrity, for example. And in addition, I think since confinement, doctors has observed an increase in eating disorders among teenager girls. Some we can see eating disorders, and it's due to social network, I think.
And what can we do about this? What do you think is the solution?
The solution about this? To accept themselves. It's a difficult process, but young women must accept themselves. Young women must accept their body and their body.
So we should be promoting acceptance.
Like we should be promoting the acceptance of everyone's uniqueness, because I think the probability is really high that we are all going to look similar in the future, because we will all want to look like her, so we're all going to feel our lips, we're all going to feel our boobs, So I think that there is maybe like this risk that everyone is going to be the same. And as you said that young women, they need to accept themselves, I think in this it's very important, the environment at home. Like Denis, he said before that a typical teenager, he spends 4 hours on Instagram and only 10 minutes with his parents. So maybe what's really important is to have the environment at home when you can talk with your parents and talk about the beauty standard and what's happening in the world.
Yes, it's important.
Okay, Anlia, thank you for that input. I think that's actually pretty insightful. And I think one of the movements or social movements that could help this promotion is feminism. I consider myself a feminist. What do you think about feminism, and do you consider yourself a feminist?
I think we must dare feminist because it's an equality between women and men, and I think it's completely normal. We are fighting to go beyond these genders, to build a society in which women and men can develop their qualities and their skills. We fight also that each individual can live their sexual orientation, for example. We fight so that women are free from violence, and I'm feminist woman. I'm feminist woman, and for me it's important that men and women are equal.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's like one of the misconceptions that I think mostly men get, that feminism isn't about superiority of one of the genders. It is about equality. So we should focus on being equal. I couldn't agree more. Good.
From my personal experience, Anlia, when you ask a woman how she imagines an ideal man, she would gradually begin to describe his physical as well as his mental side, right? But when you ask a man, he usually tells you the name of a famous model, actor, or singer. So I feel like men are talking mainly about the physical side and girls are focusing also on the mental side. So, Anlia, do you think that the mass media created a superwoman?
I think new technologies and in particular image editing software show perfect beauty, idealized bodies and faces, sometimes far removed from reality. And we show what we want on social media, for example. We idealize the image, the actresses, the singers, put forward the dream, the talent. I feel like they have never had any problem in their lives. As we say in French, tout est beau, tout est rose.
Everything is beautiful,
Yes,
everything is
pink. Is beautiful, everything is pink in their life. And this is why social networks don't represent this reality of the woman.
I feel like boys, they always think that, that I wake up in the morning, the boy, he looks at me and I have already my makeup on.
Yeah.
Like, this is not a real life, guys.
Not a real life, yes.
Wake up!
I'm not going to be Selena Gomez in the morning, in the evening, during the night,
I don't look like
Exactly.
Beyonce also.
But Anlia, actually, I'm just wondering, how would you describe an ideal man? What would be for you an ideal man?
Ideal man. A strong
Picture the
man
prince.
who can protect me.
Okay.
I want an intelligent man, smart man, a man who can have a lot of discussion of anything, because discussion is very important.
Communication in general.
Yes, communication in general, it's very important. It's a man who communicates. It's a man who supports women. It's a man who supports my works. It's very important. Pour la petite touche d'humour, un homme quand même qui mesure 1m90 parce que je mesure 1m77.
It should be a man who should
qui est quand même assez grand.
be at least 1 meter and 85 centimeters because Anlia, she's 1 meter 70, so she wants a man who is taller than her. I understand, don't worry.
Of course, understandably. Yeah.
Now, Anlia, I get it because, for example, I'm 62, but I'm still looking for a man that is taller than me because I don't want to have small children.
Yes.
Yeah, and actually, it's quite interesting because, like, usually people would think that girls don't want like shorter guys,
Yes.
because like they wouldn't be able to protect them or something like
Yeah,
that.
it's
But
very-
actually, girls explained to me, or tall girls explained to me that they would want to have a taller boyfriend because they would feel too masculine next to a short one. You know, like they would feel like they're the physically more capable. That came out wrong. Yeah, that they would be the more masculine in the relationship, which I found really interesting, and I think that's a very good argument. Like, it's about your own feeling. It's not about some external appearance.
Yes, I agree with you. It's very important for me because I can't meet someone who is shoulder. C'est un peu gênant, quoi.
It's a little bit weird, yeah.
Yes.
Even if you put heels on, you will be like 30 centimeters taller than him. It's kind of weird. I agree. Because you know that, like, the purpose of this episode is not just to say that I don't care about the physical appearance, because even me, like, I'm looking at the both sides. I want to have the physical attraction, but I want to have as well the mental attraction. I want to be able to communicate with my partner. I want to be able to laugh with him, like to have long conversations. But I also want to be attracted by him physically. I think it's very important.
Indeed, super
It's
important.
a combination of mental and physical.
Exactly, yeah. Like, I don't think that we should say that I will take every guy, just because he's nice. The attraction is very important there, yeah.
Okay.
And what about money?
Good question,
Je m'attendais
Kika.
pas à cette question. Money. Situation is very important for me because I have a master's degree. I want that the person with me has
the same amount of knowledge, I would say. Yes,
it's important.
Yeah.
But money, I work for myself. I am an independent woman. I don't depend for man. Yes, I don't depend a man for this money, for this car, for this. I don't depend man for this.
I agree with you that we should find someone who is like
Yes,
maybe equal to us, like to be able
yes,
to live.
Equal life.
Equal
Yeah.
life.
Yeah, it's not like that the person needs to have more or less money, but like you would expect the same level, so you can enjoy it together.
yes.
Then you kind of feel equal in the relationship.
Yeah.
I think that's very important as well. Okay.
I'm actually done with my questions because this episode is going to the end. So, Denis, do you have a last one?
So we have one last question that we ask every single of our guests, and we would like to ask you as well. So, what would you recommend to our listeners to watch or read or maybe listen to? Check out something. What would you recommend to our listeners?
I recommend Michelle Obama book.
Mm.
That's because Michelle Obama talks about her use at in college, hiring by a prestigious Chicago law firm. This is where she will meet Barack Obama. In this book, she looks back on her life as a woman, a wife, and a mother. It is very interesting. The most interesting for me, it is when she was often the only black woman in her college class. In professional meetings, she often had to struggle with the feeling of maybe not being in her place. We can see all of this situation in this book, and recommend this to young women, young people who are listening to us.
Well, thank you very much, Anlia.
Thank you.
We really appreciate, and we're super happy that you
Merci
found the
à toi,
time.
Denis.
Merci.
Merci.
Merci à toi, Anlia.
Ah, you speak
Nailed
Quebec. You did this. It's a really pleasure for me to do this podcast with you.
Thank you guys for listening. We really hope you enjoyed our second international episode and maybe learned something new about beauty. In case you didn't like it, you can let us know at millennials.podcasty@gmail.com. But feel free to send us any suggestions. You can follow Anlia on Instagram and learn something new about her life. Her account is tagged in the description. The third international episode is already cooking in our kitchen, so do not forget to follow us on our social media. You can find our podcast Millennials on platforms like Podbean, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and others. This podcast is made in cooperation with Theatre Phalangear, and we would like to say hi to our fellow actors and actresses. See you next time. Yeah, right?
Okay, Denis, I will do the same. Denis Chatan and Karolina Charifa for Podcast Millennials.